Awesome. Hey, welcome to Coffee Connect, everybody. I'm Roddy. I'm the host. Uh, I don't know if we have new folks on board with us today or not, but in the event that we do, at some point we will give you the microphone to introduce yourselves so we can know who you are, what you do, and how we might be able to help you. If you enjoy the conversations today, do me a favor, email me at ccinfo@addictedtoconnecting.com. Right? I don't add anybody to the email list unless they ask to be added to the email list. And as every other event that takes place, right? We record it, we put it onto the YouTube channel. Today will be recorded, so you can always go back, listen to what Ray's going to teach us today, right? And go to the website at www.addictedtoconnecting.com, and it'll direct you to the YouTube channel where you can pick up the video along with all the other Coffee Connect episodes, guys. And so last few weeks we've been diving into this technology and adaptation piece, right? We talked about the human side, like why sometimes we refuse to accept it, the technology changes and stuff, and how we can get better at it. We talked about skills for the future as Brandy talked to us about applicant tracking system and some of the things that we can do there if we're in job search mode. We as business owners also realize that, man, we often have technology that comes into our lives and we're like, why did we change this? Why did this change? Or what happened here? Or how it can be incorporated. And today, guys, Ray's coming to us to really take this AI piece to the next level. If you haven't started using AI, I think today is going to give you the greatest foundation that we've talked about AI in the past, guys, a couple times, but I think today is going to give you the greatest foundation that we've ever provided on Coffee Connect for really getting your AI, whatever it might be, chat, Claude, it doesn't matter, right? Whichever one you're using, it's going to give it the biggest foundation to really understand who you are, how you like to talk, and how you like to present things and stuff. And so without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ray Matthews for mastering prompt and AI, getting AI to work the way you work. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to stop sharing. There we go.
All
It's
right,
all you,
thank you,
Ray.
Rodney. Can everybody hear me just fine?
Yes,
All right, awesome. Rodney, can you drop the handout in the chat one more time for those who
I,
just
I sure will. Yep,
joining?
because that is critical to us. So the handout's in the chat, guys. It's going to be designed so you don't have to sit here and take screenshots and notes all day long. You can follow along with the handout and hopefully be able to work through the exercise.
What are we doing? There we go. Okay. All right, so the handout is in the chat. So I'm gonna go through this information kind of fast because I want everybody to actively participate and not worry so much about trying to take down all the stuff you see inside. But as you can see, this is about master prompting. So who in here has drop a one in the chat if you've like sat down to use AI and you always have to give a context, like every single time, like compose this email as a this type of person in this type of setting with this type of tone, or giving it some background for what your thoughts are before you go ahead and give it the prompt. Like you're doing that every single time you sit down. You're always doing the same things over and over. You kind of copy and paste it or anything like that. Uh, who got their hand up? Cats. Need something? Oh,
Nope,
okay.
she's had to do that.
Oh, she said,
Sorry, it went up on its own. Sorry about that.
all right. So awesome. So the whole idea behind this is to eliminate that process and to give it real context for who you are, what you are, how you operate, the things you have going on, kind of everything. The more information you put in there, the better. For me personally, this has became a like a master document, um, just broken up into a bunch of segments, but we're gonna get right into it. So I broke it up into three different categories. We got the personal foundation, which is your personal profile, your mission, value, communication style, productivity system. Then you got your business context, which is basically your business overview, product and services, customer and market, team and roles, SOPs, knowledge products. Now, the business context can actually be transformed into a work profile. So if you are W-2 employed, you can still give it the same exact context. It's just basically letting it understand your role at work, but you punch in the same pieces of information. And last but not least is how you want AI to help you. Essentially, how do you want it to collaborate with you, which can be a bunch of different ways depending on what you're using and what your ideas are, etc. But let's get right into the first part. So on your personal profile, what you really want to focus in on is the bigger questions and what you expect to get out of those. So like who you are, when you give it the information of who you are, what you want to do is essentially give it a 90-second introduction, like a elevator pitch. So it understands exactly who you are, what you're looking for, who you help, all that kind of stuff. The things that you do on Cleveland Area Network. If you haven't been to that, we have that on Mondays. It's a great way to kind of figure out how you introduce yourself as who you are. So that, and then your area of expertise, personality traits, strengths, weaknesses. You can put a SWOT analysis in here, whatever you think will give it more context. But that is how you start off your personal profile. Next, we got your mission and goals. So I do my goals based on a 1 year, and then I do a 3 to 5 year vision. I also add in here a 10-year goal, like keeping everything on a certain path. Along with that, you have career objectives, financial targets, and then your own personal goals. These are outside of like work accomplishments. So whether you want to lose some weight, go travel some places, or maybe you want to learn a second language, spend more time with friends, you want to go on certain vacations, anything that you want to accomplish personally, you also put this inside of here. So as you're growing on a personal level, you're still hitting all your business goals and vice versa. Values and decision principles. This is a really big one. This gives the AI a really great grasp of how you operate and how you think mentally. Um, I put top 5 personal values in here. You can put as many as you want, but the values that basically define you as a person need to be in here. How you prioritize work. That's another thing that has to be in here. For those of you who know me, I am real big on Pareto's principle, Parkinson's law, and the Eisenhower matrix. So my AI understands this, and all of the work that it spits out before it even gives me feedback, it's already broken down into these categories. So I'm only working on what's going to move the needle based on how I see. Um, what you won't compromise on, again, for me, it's integrity and honesty and all that kind of stuff, solely because I handle people's money. At the end of the day, I'm always doing what's right, regardless of the consequences. So because it understands that even when it's suggesting things, it'll let me know like, hey, business wise, this makes more sense, but based on your personal values, this is what you should do. So um, giving it context to that and making sure that it truly understands that is a real big deal for me. Uh, how you define success, that also helps. Um, and also your decision-making philosophy is also another one that you want to put inside of there. Communication style, your tone, your writing style, formatting preference, reading level, words, phrases, all of this kind of stuff. You can keep it very, very simple, very formal, or you can be very creative. Um, if any of you have watched the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, mine's talk to me like Jarvis. So I find that very entertaining. I have an actual program where it'll actually talk to me and not just prompt and type back. So yeah, it's my own thing. It's very fun and entertaining, but you could set that up however you want. So it's basically like you're talking amongst yourself at the end of the day, which is great because it's another person to bounce ideas back and forth off of. And then last but not least, your productivity system. This is paramount for how you get things done and how it can help you. Because at this point, it can start to become a personal assistant. So your task management system, your planning cadence, calendars, focus, work style, productivity. I gave it my software stack so it knows what applications I use. So it can always make suggestions. It has access to some of my applications too. So in real time, not only is it giving me feedback, but it's seeing what's being done and how it's being done. Because it has access to my software stack. So a couple of things to consider, but this will take it to the next level. All right, so now I want to go into breakouts really quick. just for like 8 minutes, Rodney, 2 to 3, however you want to break it up. And inside the breakout, I just want everybody to either ask questions or go back and forth so other people can have ideas and kind of clarification on these first 5 levels. Um, that's all I want. I want y'all to spend some time in there and get everything, you know, bounce everything off of each other. Feel free to do like quick 30-second introductions, but I'm 99% sure everyone in here has been on Coffee Connect before. So whenever you're ready, Rodney, you can.
Yep, I got them opened up. I'll see you guys back here in about 8 minutes. I hate when that happens.
All right.
I
All right.
I know. It'd be right in the middle of a sentence.
All right, everybody. Good breakout sessions across the board, I'm hoping. Okay, okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, I am going to jump right back into it because we don't have that much time. So 1 second. Uh, boom. All right. Screen's back up. Yeah. No, I already did that. I don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going straight into the business overview. All right, so for the business overview, essentially, what do you do? Your mission statement, your revenue model, competitive advantage, and your biggest current challenges. So the most important thing that I think people get wrong in this section is not putting in a mission statement because that's kind of like your guiding point for the company, and also not understanding your own revenue model. I've talked to a couple of entrepreneurs where they really don't understand what I like to call a green zone, and that's where they're making money. Um, so prime example, in one of my businesses, I buy and sell real estate. So my green zone is literally only when I am placing a tenant, because now I can collect rent. I'm selling a property because now I am collecting a check, or I am raising capital because also I am collecting a check. If it is not those 3 things, I am actually not making any money. Everything else is leading up to that point. And most people don't understand that about their business. They'll consider things like, hey, I had a great phone call with somebody as the green zone activity, but you didn't make any money from a great phone call. Or I put out marketing material and I got responses back. That's good, but you don't make any money from doing that. So you must understand where your contact points are with money. And that's what I call the green zone. Next are your product and services. Pretty straightforward, what your products are. If you don't have products, what your services are, your pricing approach, the ideal customer, and future offerings you plan on developing. Depending on your business, some of this stuff might not apply, but whatever does apply, put in here. And if you are a W-2 employee, kind of, whatever your job and your roles and your tasks are that apply in these areas, just give it full context so it can help you throughout that process. Customers and marketing, same thing, your ideal customer profile. I think most people don't put enough emphasis on their customer profile. Me personally, I have a entire page written out for my ideal customer profile. It is not just some simple paragraph. It started off as a paragraph and then it expanded to 2 to 3, and now it is a full page. And I don't let it go beyond a page, but I have my customer profile, I call it my client avatar, downloaded to a site.
This is kind of cool because we were talking about this actually because obviously Craig's in job search, right? And David asked him like, how's this kind of playing into him? And I think this still comes into play. He's got a list of businesses and companies that he's kind of reaching out to and stuff. So I think it's important that we understand it's not just for business, right? This is for everything that we're doing. We all have customers or somebody that we're trying to serve.
Exactly.
So go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt
I
you, brother.
appreciate it. Yeah, so that is real important. Dial that in. The customer's biggest pain points, you need to fully understand how you're going to help them and what makes them seek you out. Understand their goals, who your competitors are, and your unique value proposition compared to your competitors. Essentially, what you're offering that nobody else does. And if you don't have that, then you have to figure that out. and go down that, especially if you're job seeking or you're looking to move up the corporate ladder. Those are imperative things that you have to hone in on. Finally, teams and role. Well, not finally. Next is teams and roles. So, team members' responsibilities, reporting structures, strengths of each person, um, areas that need improvement. Very, very basic stuff, but very crucial. So it can understand what tasks should be given to what people based on what they have going on. Because as a team, the idea is to how I use this for my own personal team is if it's someone's job normally to do something that they're not good at, I will have AI assist them as much as possible or pass it on to another person who I know can get the job done very efficiently in a fantastic manner, rather than have someone suffer through the idea of doing a task that they know that they basically aren't very good at. So, very, very important. Um, yeah. Okay. And SOP, this is the heart of my piece right here. So your sales process, your customer onboarding, your marketing workflow, content creation process, decision approval process, or any other SOPs that are the backbone of your business need to be put in here. Anything that you consider critical for how you are operating at your job or what you're currently doing to get hired or however you're running your company, that information needs to be in here. So it can be as little as 5 or it can be as many as 10.
Mhm.
But whatever it is, if you consider it crucial for your process to move your project forward or projects forward in general, it has to be in here. And it needs as much context as you're willing to give it. If you think the context is too broad, then you can put it inside of the AI and then ask it to shorten it to where it's only getting the key pieces of information. But it still needs to be in here, however you choose to do so. I cannot stress how important this area is and how much expanding on it only helps. And then your knowledge base and key references. So things that you live by, whether it's books, frameworks, industry research, company documentation, personal lessons learned through insight, experience, anything of that nature. Place it in this area. So when all else fails, it has a point to reference if it starts to get contradictory information at any at any given point. There's always one place where it can dig into and be like, okay, well, this is absolute law in Ray's company. So let me go back here for this information before I spit out any answer. Um, and then also it can give you an answer and you can also give it the option to, hey, based on the knowledge base or my reference points, how does this work? How does this stack up against that? So you can always double check what it's giving you by what you told it is absolute law. So you can never put enough in there as well, in my personal opinion, because it's kind of like a checks and balances system for whatever the AI is spitting out. Because regardless of how well you prompt these things, they will still do what people call ghosting, which is just kind of make some stuff up at any given point or give you information that doesn't go along with what your typical standards are. Last but not least, are your current projects, priority level, deadlines, success metrics, current blockers. This is just giving it a full list of what you have going on. Now, for your current projects, I personally do not believe anyone should ever work on more than 12 to 15 projects. And for the average person, that is a lot. You have to be really organized to take on that many projects. Um, I take on 15 projects at a time. It is a lot, but I'm also very organized. From my own experience, I think the average person should only take on 5 to 7. But you know your level of discipline and your level of focus, so do as you please. Always prioritize everything so it has context and it knows what's happening, even though a deadline might not be coming up. If it knows the level of priority of something else, then it can alert you ahead of time so you have ample time to take care of another high priority task or project by keep feeding you small bits and pieces of information to take care of that so you're not running up against a hard wall with basically no time to get a project done. So priority level is always a big thing. Um, Deadline speaks for themselves. Success metrics. So success metrics can be hard numbers or outcomes. Depending on the situation, I'll do both. Because a KPI will let me know, like, hey, I did exactly what I wanted to accomplish. However, I didn't get the outcome I wanted.
Mm.
So it'll give it more context. And then, you can go back later, check, make adjustments, and figure some things out. And current blockers are just, what's stalling anything at any given moment. Um, that's kind of self-explanatory. But back to the success metrics, I believe outcomes along with metrics are the best route to go because you can get the outcome that you wanted by not hitting the metrics, which is another data point for you to understand and learn something from a process. Constraints and preferences. Again, all of this is kind of self-explanatory, but budget limitations, time limitations, technology preferences, tools and platforms. Also things that AI should never recommend. So like whatever your hard no's are. Like for me, it's like hopping into a bunch of new tools and trying new things. It's too much of a learning curve. Um, Anything that goes against like my guiding principles of my company, I'll never do that. Anything that will put me in a gray area for integrity, uh, anything of that nature. Like it knows, don't mention it, don't bring it up. It's just not happening. Um, so yeah, having that kind of stuff in there always helps. And then that also creates another checks and balance system to make sure that it's always headed in the right direction. Okay, so we're gonna go into breakout two. Again, Rodney, 8 minutes, two or three people per, and just a quick conversation, you guys, about all of the stuff. I'll try to pop in every room for a few seconds. So,
I just threw a PDF document in the chat that we've been using, so that'll help you understand. We can talk about it afterwards too, Martin. But
Okay. All right.
go ahead,
Thank
Ray.
you.
You're muted.
all right. I hope the breakouts were fantastic. So Rodney brought up two great points that I want to share with everybody before I wrap up. His first question is explain how you actually use this document. So this document, you fill out the PDF, and once you filled out the PDF, you can actually upload that document inside of your preferred AI system. You literally just take the document and put it inside of there, and now it has all the context that it needs. If there's not enough space on the document, you can turn the document into a doc file and expand on all your answers and your questions and all that fun stuff to give it more and more context, and then upload that inside of your preferred AI model. Now, the next thing that he brought up, which is a great point. So for all of you that have been using AI already, but now you want to start using this set of information with what you've already been doing, the way I would suggest it is to download all of your history from your AI model. Then delete all of your AI history from that same AI model. So now it has a clean slate. It has no information on you. Take the document, upload it to the AI model. Now you give it context. From there, you can actually give it a prompt to take the information that you're about to upload, which is your old information, and run it across your new profile. And it will actually spit out a ton of information that you probably never even thought about. And it will ask you questions on why this had this, or you can revisit a bunch of conversation and get a lot more insight on those conversations and what was going on. Catherine, you got a question?
I do. We were talking in our breakout room whether or not you have to have a paid version in order for this to work effectively.
So I do not, if you want to keep it stored, I think you might have to have a paid version depending on what AI you are using. I kind of pay for them all, so I honestly do not know. I've been paying for them for years. However, because you have the document, if you draw it up, you can simply upload the document on the free version or copy and paste, straight from there, and then give it whatever question that you have. So it will always still have the context. Granted, it would take you a couple of seconds longer to do it that route, but as long as you have the document, you can always feed it the document prior and then have the conversation.
Claude does allow
on free to put this in your kind of profile page. ChatGPT, I think, but I can't confirm that free users are able to do that. And I can't speak for the other tools, but those are the ones I use. And I know for a fact that Claude will let you create that kind of profile on the free version.
Thanks, Chris. Karen, question. You're muted. You're muted, Karen.
I know.
Okay.
That was sort of my question, which is, and so each time you have to say, help me with X, run it through the profile, or will it automatically always relate back to the profile?
So that's what Chris was saying. With Anthropic's Claude, you can upload that document and it will always be in there.
No, that's not the question. It may be there. Will it always filter?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because it's in the background. That's the whole purpose of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me erase this real quick.
Interesting.
Any other questions before I wrap up? I'm going to try to speed through these last couple of slides.
All right. So you said download the history, delete the history, and then re-upload this document.
Upload the document, and then once you once you re-uploaded the document, it has context of who you are, and then after that, you can re-upload your history because it'll look like you're transferring one profile from one program to another. So, like if you're going from ChatGPT to Anthropic's Claude, you can transfer your ChatGPT history into Anthropic. So this is a common practice. So it will just look like you're transferring a history from one chat to another. But this new history, your new profile has all this context behind it. And you can just ask it like, hey, out of all these chats, what went wrong? What was right? What can you give me more context on based on this profile? And it'll just spit out all kinds of stuff for you. So
curious, like if you go into your whatever model you're using right now, guys, and you were to say, give me a summary of what you think my profile is. Right. It'll tell you exactly. I mean, I just did it for me, and then I did it for Coffee Connect too, just to kind of understand who are the two people I'm trying to be, right? Because there's multiple roles that I have, but and then you can kind of see like how close is it? Is there a need for me to go back and wipe the slate and reprogram this the way I want it to be programmed, right? If it's pretty close, then you might not need to reprogram it. You might be able to feed your profile in, and it'll just clarify all the additional information, right? Does that make sense to everybody? I mean, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel.
yeah, makes sense to me, Rodney.
So what else you got, Ray? Keep going, man.
Okay. The last piece is like basically how you want to collaborate with the AI, your role, challenge I have it challenge my assumptions all the time. It asks clarifying questions. So every time I'm going back and forth, it's almost like I'm being interviewed. So it can constantly be aware of my thought process. I always have it recommend practical next steps, tailor advice to my contacts, anything else that you would expect it or you want it to do for whatever your thing is. Maybe you wanted to always spit out certain data points and feed you information in a certain way to back up whatever you have going on. Anything like that. Just giving it more and more context for what does actual help look like, because everybody's not always looking for text or simplistic answers. It can be anything. So giving it this set of instructions is very, very key. And that's kind of it. So these are the prompts. Again, you guys got the PDF, so there's no need to keep this up. Yeah. The richer the context, the better. I use mine in a very plain, simplistic way. I choose my words very carefully. I'll actually feed my thoughts into AI to get information back, so I can make it very, very simplistic. Also, I cannot stress enough using proper English and correct context for words. Please do not give the AI context in how you speak. It never works out well because it leaves too many variables, or it might not understand the context of which you are talking. So be very clear. My thought process is if I can't explain it to my 8-year-old, then I shouldn't put it inside the prompt. Very clean, very clear, very simplistic. That is all that I have. Any questions, thoughts, feedback? Bree, you got anything for me?
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. I appreciate it. I will be reaching out to you just to get some more clarity of how to use it in my business. And thank you so much. But I wanted to thank you as well. And it's Bri, by the way, sir. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Brian.
This was really, really good and well thought out, Ray. I appreciate your insight in putting this together for all of us because it gave me a greater in-depth consideration as to how I can put this and apply it into my business and get the most out of what I'm doing already currently. Because as I'm looking at this, I'm like, dang, I'm only scratching the surface. I haven't really done nothing if I'm being honest. So I really do appreciate it. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like I said at the beginning, guys, this is the foundation. Like if you can get this stuff in there right, you're gonna see AI interact with you, right, and provide you better results of the things that you're wanting from it, as opposed to just giving you simplistic answers and stuff, right? And I gotta tell you guys, like if we could stand up and show Ray a standing ovation, right? I think that's what he deserves, because here's why. Ray truly went out of his comfort zone here. Ray does not like PowerPoints, guys. Right? Ray does not like operating off of a PowerPoint. He would have been just as good just walking through the PDF document or whatever for you, right, and stuff. And so I appreciate him going the extra mile and stuff. And I know AI did the extra mile for him. But it still goes a long ways, because I know visuals go good with us understanding and learning a little bit better, right? And so any other questions for him before we wrap up?
No, recommendation that he start talking to all the chambers in his area and doing the presentation. And figure out a way to get paid for it, Ray.
See, that I like, Karen. I love money. I don't know if anyone knows.
Yeah, no, that's pretty clear. You might have to give away a little to, entice to begin,
So next week, guys, we're going to use some of this prompting stuff, right? If you can, work on your profile this week. I think it's going to be important. And next week, I've got a prompting workshop we're going to walk through. A while back, we did some discussions. Carla talked to us a little bit about some stuff. Carla Hale, as well. Earlier on in the year, we talked a little bit about limiting beliefs, and Dave Scoglin often mentions we got to understand, what are we trying to accomplish? What's the North Star? What are we shooting for, right? And often we paint ourselves in this box of we are unable, we are incapable, we can't do this unless it's inside of this shell of a thing, right? And I will tell you, each and every one of us, right, are capable of so much more. And so next week we're going to walk through, I call it the digital escape room, right, in hopes that you're going to find some ways outside of your limiting beliefs, right, to accomplish the goals that you're wanting to do, and raise your business to the level that you deserve to be at. Raise your job search or your job landing. I hate job search, job landing, right, to the level that you deserve as well, right? And so any announcements are asked before I shout out the love? Going once, going twice.
Since she's not here,
I have one.
Hold on, go ahead, Joe.
Pam Farwick landed.
Pam has landed. She did announce it last week too, but it's really, really official now.
Yes.
And so hopefully we'll hear more from her and get updates on how that's going. Michelle, go ahead.
So I have launched as of a week and a half ago my recruiting side of my business. So for all of you that are looking for roles, I am currently courting a lot of local employers, some a little bit not so local. I would love to get an email from you with what roles you're looking for, salary range, where you're located, and your resume. If you're interested in being put like kind of just in that holding pen, and as soon as I get something, I will never submit without coming to you first and going through everything. That is not how I work. But my email is Michelle, and I'll put it in the chat, Michelle@recruitingandresumes.com. Brand new email, spanking new inbox.
Awesome.
Okay.
Anybody else? All right. Well, guys, it is 11 o'clock. We're getting out on time today, right? Go out there. Have a great week, everybody. It was also awesome seeing everybody at HR Roundtable this morning, those that I got to see. And remember, I love you guys, all right?
Thanks, Rodney. Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good week, everybody.
Awesome stuff.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate it.